But when was the last time you were truly shocked, sports shocked? This is one of those, it was midnight Eastern, and getting messages on my phone that was like OMG, question mark, exclamation point, what the F, question mark, exclamation point, and I don't know what's happened. So all of a sudden you go, I gotta contact somebody. So I sent a message to my wife. I said, is everything okay? And she said, yeah, did you hear about the Luka Doncic? Is that how you pronounce his name? I go, you know it before I know it. And she said, yes, everybody on the internet is talking about this. Is that how you pronounce his name? I said, yes, it is. Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers. And you start to think about all the insiders. People get paid millions and millions of dollars to be the insider. Give us a heads up there. And then all of a sudden, nobody was an insider. Nobody had any information on this. Even the players involved in the deal had no idea that this was going on. Now, I understand the Mavs side of this with Luka, that you're not going to tell him, if you're getting ready to part ways with him, you're not going to say anything to him. The Lakers with LeBron, friends with AD, brought AD in from New Orleans. They won a title together. They're buds. Then there was a report they're at odds with one another. Maybe LeBron doesn't like that AD's not always available. AD last year played in 76 games. Now, he was injured or is injured, an abdominal strain or something. But the fact that you get a guy who does have good numbers when he's played, but you're going to get Luka Doncic in his prime. And that's where you go, why? First question, and I still say that, why? Brian Windhorst of the Mothership will join us coming up top of next hour. But the Mavericks went to the NBA Finals last year. It's not like they flamed out in the first round. It's not where you go, man, they got to make some big decisions here. They got to make some changes here. They went to the NBA Finals last year. And you get rid of Luka, who's 25, and you get Anthony Davis in return because you say defense wins championships. And then you were talking about your culture, the Mavs culture, that these players they got fit in better than Luka. And it goes back to why? What do the Mavs know that we don't know yet? And was it just Luka was not in shape? You don't want to give him a max deal where he's going to be making over $70 million a year. But, you know, it's one of those when you watch him play and you go, gosh, if he ever gets in shape, he'll average 40 a game. I mean, he's still good averaging 30 a game. And, you look at his weight, that's a big deal. I mean, just like Zion Williamson, that has become a big issue. I wouldn't be surprised if Zion has moved at some point in his career. But here's Luka, arguably one of the top 5 players, certainly one of the top 10 players, and you get him at 25. Anthony Davis, you're not going to build around him. And it's weird that it feels like Sacramento got more for De'Aaron Fox than the Mavericks got for, the trade with Luka Doncic. De'Aaron Fox going to San Antonio, which I think is great. Love it. Thought it was wonderful. But as far as the Lakers, it was one of those where, and you start to look at sports surprises. You know, when Kobe passed away, we didn't want to believe it. It's like, no. You know, it's a tragedy, and you're like, no, that couldn't possibly have happened. And then all of a sudden, you realize that it did happen. I was doing SportsCenter when Magic announced that he had HIV, and then he was going to have to retire. Like, that is sports shocked. This is a trade. And if you're looking at things that probably would shock you, I'll go back to when Lou Alcindor was traded from the Bucks to the Lakers. And I remember, gosh, you just traded the best player in the game, and you got Junior Bridgman, and you got Dave Myers, and I think Elmore Smith was involved. You know, it wasn't a great list of players. Even when Wilt Chamberlain was traded, you know, you don't get as much as you think in return. Oscar Robertson traded to the Bucks. You got 2 marginal players out of that. But I would have thought draft picks. I would have thought you could have gotten a whole lot more from a lot of other people. And it's like you didn't let everybody know. It's almost like you're single, and then all of a sudden you're going to marry the first guy that you meet. Like, yeah, I gotta spread this. Maybe there's other options out there. That was what was surprising, and they kept it quiet, which I thought was fascinating. In today's world where everybody, certainly in Hollywood, somebody's telling somebody something, but they kept it quiet, and now You have the Dallas Mavericks with Anthony Davis as they move forward. And, I hope they play great defense. Somebody better tell Kyrie Irving he's got to play defense because defense wins championships. But Luka, look, I don't like Luka going to the Lakers because you got two ball-dominant guys. You know, LeBron wants to have the ball, and so does Luka. Okay. Don't like it? I mean, I love it from the standpoint of you got to watch it, but I don't know if it's one of those where you go, all right, I see what they're doing. Now, this is long-term. This is a long play. You know, he's 25. But as far as LeBron, is LeBron going to stay longer now? Does he want to get traded? And I think those are questions that we'll ask, Wendy when he joins us next hour. Yes, Marvin.
But LeBron's won championships with ball-dominant guys before, like Dwayne Wade and Kyrie Irving. So if it worked there, it might work here. Just one last shot.
Yeah.
So LeBron was good at playing a lot of your turn, my turn with D. Wade and Kyrie. So maybe this might be the plan for the Lakers.
Well, I mean, Luka's going to want the ball. Now Luka's going to want to be out, for vengeance here. I'm going to show everybody, usually that's what happens. You get traded. Like, he was shocked. He was like, wait, I didn't know anything about this. Jason Kidd didn't know. Nobody knew anything about this. Yes, Heaton.
Yeah, it does seem like LeBron is a guy who doesn't mind not having it all on his shoulders, right? And so, well, he wants the ball. Maybe he wants it a little less these days. And like, yeah, man, this is your, like Marvin said, now this is your turn, and then I'll get the next one.
And I worry about Bronny, too, just to make sure that he's going to get his touches as well, as most people are. Yes, Paul.
I have this policy for the past 20 or 30 years. If the Lakers are calling me or talking to me about a trade, don't do it. Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant during the draft, Shaquille O'Neal in his prime, Lou Alcindor. I was looking. Lou Alcindor was 26. He had won 2 of the previous 3 MVPs. And Milwaukee goes, let's get rid of this guy. It's hard to make sense of that at the time, and this one's just as bad.
Well, Lou Alcindor wanted out of Milwaukee, wanted to go to Los Angeles. He had played his college ball out there, and I think that he wanted out of that situation. But, the difference is with the Lakers, usually Jerry West was on the other end. If Jerry West calls, then you don't pick up because somehow, some way this isn't going to work out. But Rob Pelinka made the move, pulled the trigger on this, and credit to the Lakers. I didn't think they were going anywhere with Anthony Davis, but at least you've, revitalized your fan base. And maybe you now look at the future. Maybe you go, okay, we have somebody we can build on who's not 40 years of age. Yes, Eden.
And all of the attention is going to the Lakers and the Mavs, obviously. But then when you look at the other side of some of these trades, it's like, what are the Bulls doing?
Well, what have the Bulls been doing for the last 20 years?
They're like a team that's being stripped down for parts because, some gigantic company bought them, and they're like, just sell off all the good stuff, and then it's crazy.
It's like when animals cross a river, and, some make it, and some, like the Bulls crossing the river, and then it's like, oh, we lost one. Yeah. We lost another one. And they finally traded Zach LaVine. He's probably been rumored to have been traded 100 times, it feels like, in the last couple of years. So he goes to Sacramento, and, of course, you reunite him with DeMar DeRozan, and that's going to be magic there. Yes, Marvin.
Zach LaVine is Bradley Beal light.
Wow.
A lot of points, but it doesn't lead to wins.
So that's not a compliment.
No.
Okay.
Yes. They're both great players, but no.
Yeah, Paul.
All right, I've been wanting to ask you this for about a day and a half. If you're the Lakers, I'd like to know how much time after the initial call to the trade was made and how much due diligence did you get? Because whenever someone offers you something too good to be true, I got to know why. This house is $600,000, should be $1 million. Oh, it's got mold. That's what it feels like. The Lakers are getting something that the Mavericks really didn't want. Why? How do you ask that? How do you find out why they don't want Luka anymore?
Yeah, I think that's what we're waiting for. I think everybody was like, and this is one of those where NBA players in games, they're passing the phone around on the bench because nobody believes it's real. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Wait, you see this? You see this? You see this? You see this? Yes, Eden.
And they can't even be like, well, you know what? The chance to get Anthony Davis is just too good to pass up. We're going to be like, what do you want him for?
Yes, Todd.
Is there a standard physical after all trades,
yes.
or they have to do that before it becomes official?
Yeah, and both players are injured. I didn't think you could trade injured players. If David Stern was still the commissioner, I would love to have heard his reaction. Would he have vetoed this like he did Chris Paul to the Lakers?
I see. Okay, you guys just want to move your stars wherever. Okay.
And then it goes back to, loyalty, franchise loyalty. Luka didn't want to leave. You know, we always talk about the players in the NBA. Oh, they're holding up these franchises. You know, they're the ones that are dictating what goes on. By all accounts, neither of these players knew what was going on. Yes, Marv?
And I think we all have to let the public know Mark Cuban is not the majority owner of the Dallas Mavericks anymore. Because I got about 3 text messages. What is Mark Cuban doing? He's just sitting there. He didn't do this.
I know Fritzy, we were at dinner last night, and I said to Fritzy, reach out to Cuban. So he said, he can't.
I can't, sorry.
And I said, wait a minute. Why can't he? He didn't make the move, but he still owns like 27% of the Mavericks.
He's very busy.
Yeah.
Shark Tank has got a lot of stuff going on.
I know.
A lot of wheeling and dealing.
But this is where Paulie goes, yeah, tell him we can tape it right now. We'll go, we'll tape it whatever time you want.
Yeah, I love Paul. He's like, guests out of the country can't do it. They don't have Zoom. They don't have computers or phones out of the country.
Yeah, Paul.
I wonder if Mark Cuban's I can't was, I can't. Like, he loved Luka. He made his declarations years ago and always loved him.
Well, you know, it's one of those guys where you paired him with Kyrie Irving. They go to the NBA Finals. You would think, okay. I mean, it's not a great team, but still, you went to the NBA Finals last year, and then you decide to part ways. But I don't. Maybe they just looked at this and said, he's where he is now at 25. How much better is he going to get? How much does he care? And then they talk. You know, all these teams and franchises have culture. You know, it's Patriots culture, and it's Heat culture, and it's I don't even know what that means. All I know is Anthony Davis already has it, and he hasn't even put on the uniform yet, which is pretty amazing. Do you buy it in the gift shop when you land in Dallas-Fort Worth? Yes, Seton.
There's a quote from Mark Cuban all over the internet now that, as far as I could tell, is real. But Mark Cuban said, if I had to choose between my wife and keeping Luka on the Mavs, catch me at my lawyer's office prepping for a divorce.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know.
She could probably use that in future negotiations. I'm no lawyer.
Wouldn't that have been funny if the Lakers get Luka, Mark Cuban's wife?
Whoa.
They get Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris. The first wife, traded. Yeah,
Then the
Paul.
deal makes sense.
Yeah, Paul.
So Marv and I were joking at dinner the other day when they introduced, they always introduce the new player they trade for, and they hold up the jersey that he's going to wear when Luka gets introduced in L.A. When they introduced Anthony Davis in Dallas, they held up a sweater and pants.
Wow.
I figured
Street clothes?
Street clothes.
Dang, street clothes.
It's not really fair. He's playing a lot lately. I retract that statement. Retract it.
Damn.
Too soon, Marv.
Yeah.
Much too soon.
Street clothes.
Street.
A great nickname. He's playing well. We retract it.
He is, of course. Coming back from another injury. Yes, Marv.
I saw Luka get off the plane. Miraculously, he's 25 pounds down now. He looks great.
Shredfest?
Oh, he looked great. He looked like James Harden, when he got traded, because James Harden was over here looking like Professor Klump at one point.
Well, it's like when your significant other decides to divorce you, and then you get back to your playing weight. Like you all of a sudden go, all right, I'm out there on the market.
But in 36 hours, did he get some Spanx? What's he wearing?
He's going to Ozempicville.
Oh,
he's going to Hollywood.
Part of his contract?
Yes, they may have hooked him up on the plane where can I get an IV of that Ozempic here? Down 25.